Collins.
I did now. Thanks, man. Thanks,
Wow.
man. Yes, Ike Wamodi. I think I saw Ike Wamodi here.
Yeah, but I mean, I say don't go.
Okay.
I even saw it's like I said, no, not Victor.
Thanks, bro.
Yes, Victor. What I'm seeing is that Sir Victor Inovosa. Sir Victor Inovosa. Okay, I'm loyal. I'm loyal.
How are you?
I'm
Fine.
loyal, sir.
I'm loyal from Warri. From Warri, Delta State.
So be smart. You try.
That's nice.
You try.
I just hope we get the video complete. Yeah.
Yes, so yes.
Maybe Collins, we should start thinking about AI for power generation now.
Of course, it will be built in. It will be built in into the circuits. But so we need to get some of the people that like
those areas that use power more than the other areas, so that they can give people in the city more light.
In
the villages.
Yes.
Deji, I was going to ask her. I'm sure that we can use AI for population census.
When you say census, it depends. You mean instead of doing the normal counting, right?
Yes, and they will now use like infrared heat maps. You understand, to look at the density. So when the counting is coming out from a place and the density is not showing a correlation with the numbers, then the questions will be asked. So why are you having these numbers when the heat map or the dot maps are not showing the density?
Do you think our politicians will allow it? They will not. Don't bring up an issue that cause problem.
Our politicians allow that registration.
No, we won't allow it. Even the election,
biometric.
You can use AI for election.
You know that biometric.
Election malpractice, not everything. You can use it, but they will never allow it.
No, but they allow that biometric, and
we tend to go to the negative sides of things.
That is why I'm seeing the opportunities in what they just said. That thing he said about lobbying. That can be white lobbying. White lobbying. But you understand why they are doing the calculation? Somebody decides to spend the money to fly even though now they have to see that
lobbying cannot be. Does it have a pattern?
Before you fly a drone, you need that permits in Nigeria. That's also one of the problems.
We cannot take the human factor out of things sometimes. And so our politicians will never allow
elections now. If the number
allow such an idea.
If the number of votes exceeds the number of biometrically registered people, they throw the votes away.
Yeah.
We've done that for like 2 elections now. You get before biometrics, you just get anyhow figure. You get. That's why the politicians are now forced to use money to bribe people to vote. Before, they would just cook up any figure that, 2 million in this small LGA. But now, when they were announcing, in the last 2 elections that they were announcing, once they check the biometric registration and it says 100,000, and the total votes is 200,000, they just throw it away in front of them. So usually progress comes bit by bit. There might be 100 bad things, only 2 will be bit by bit.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. So it's possible one might push and they will allow. You get I never believe they will allow biometric registration in Nigeria. So that will quickly expose that it removed double voting.
Yes.
If we should channel this AI thing to terrorism, catching these terrorists.
That's what Deji was saying there now. All the recognitions and all those stuff.
Face recognition, terrorists, and people that are likely to be terrorists.
MCN thinking.
And contestants that are likely to steal money when they are voted into office.
Those that are likely to fail WAEC exam.
Exactly.
So this thing can be used negatively. It's a very terrible thing.
But for me, I am thinking that
even privacy. That's the thing.
I am thinking that we can also, as a people, begin to gather this data for ourselves in case of tomorrow. You see, the government plays a lot of politics when it comes to telling the truth about the wrongdoing about conducting of the election and all that. If we as a hub comes together to personally invest in picking of the various electoral histories and all that, we can be able to actually predict which party snatch a ballot box in election.
My own philosophy of life is that
yes, we can be able
man can do
assist.
As far as man is concerned, we have been blessed with the ability to adapt and invent and be creative. And there's no limitation to how much we can do. So, but whatever we end up creating should not overtake us. It's a tool. So that's how I believe it too, because I don't see animals, I don't see a lion creating a house since for the thousands of years that lions have been existing. They've not started building houses. But humans have started building
I'm not
houses.
sure. I'm not sure that Nobel, when Nobel was creating dynamite, when Nobel was creating the dynamite, he was doing it because he wanted to break the rock so that they can construct roads. You understand? But somehow, the Yaba left it for other things. So, but because
the Chinese are using gunpowder for fireworks. Once Europeans lay down on it like this, they built cannons and stuff.
They started making bombs and bullets with it.
But if we now use our own biological AI, you understand, to predict historically that it is possible that every good thing can be used for bad. So while the good thing is being produced, that is why
generally that's the nature of man.
That's why they discuss ethics in invention as research starts. They now begin to ask what are the you now review all the ethics around it. You understand? So that what they want to do is to try to stop the use of the bad for it. And some nations will want to hold it and say, okay, I'm the only person that can use it for bad.
For me, anything we want to do, make we do it. The consequences will come. We might reach near extinction. We'll rise again or not.
Rise again.
For me, I'm not really so concerned because
ethics. Well, ethics.
So whatever we can do, we do. We will. You get. We were wise enough not to use nuclear weapons against each other. We were close to, but we didn't. You get. We have the power to, and it's this prefrontal cortex. Animals don't really have it. Our prefrontal cortex is very developed. It's where all these things come from. So is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We don't even know. Is it just a good thing or bad thing? But we'll keep surviving. We are something billion now. If we like, we kill it, we do something, we will finish us. After all, the plague nearly wiped out half of European population. They rose again. You get so you get many things have happened in history. They now destroyed themselves in World War II, but we rose again.
They rose again.
So maybe AI will mess us up.
Well, historically, the things that happen in the world are actually not man-made.
Really?
I believe it's man-made. That's where I differ. You get what
so when you want to mix our activities, we are only vessels being used. So
why are they not man-made?
Oh no, we are only vessels being used to cultivate the earth.
Anyway, I think also that without us knowing, I don't know how
we are being controlled. We are being controlled one way or the other by an alien body or something, so that we don't know about. So we are not in control of our affairs generally.
We are a will unto ourselves.
You think the atom bomb? You think the atom bomb was a fluke of? They just stumbled into it. It was inspired.
Inspired by what? Inspired by what? It was stumbled upon, and the potential of it was
we are off. Sure, we are no longer on that lecture, so I can talk freely.
Yes, talk freely.
The thing that led Marie Curie to discover radioactivity, was not just because she was supposed to discover radioactivity. She was destined to discover radioactivity.
No, maybe destined.
Those things were already in existence.
I think she was It was opportune. Okay, let me explain some of those.
Like, for example, let me explain. For example, the theory of the Big Bang. Now, they say the universe was made by Big Bang, right? A big sound, a big bang, a nuclear explosion, and things begin to happen. Yes, there was a bang. You cannot have a universe as this big and not have sound made.
But that does not mean that the theory, the Big Bang theory, you understand, is correct. You understand? That does not make the Big Bang theory correct. The Big Bang theory is a postulation that is still being researched up to date. And Professor Amanduka researched Big Bang theory, Big Bang. You know, finally finish, he died ago. People will continue to research the Big Bang theory.
There is something beyond. You have said it yourself. Right? You have said it yourself that it's not correct. It might not be correct. Are you getting it? Yes, but there are evidences to suggest that these things happened. Right?
But you see, the first person who talked about the Big Bang theory was this guy.
Science has been unable.
Very close to it was
Science has been unable to tell us the origin of life. Science has been unable to define energy for us. Science has been unable to define our ability to rationalize things in our own environment. Science has been able to tell us how we are able to advance communication to the level that we have to this day. It started, there must be a foundation for something like in writing, for example, we scribble things and write it and communicate to ourselves. We don't even have to talk. We can communicate by writing.
But
these things are natural phenomena that came to be.
Okay, let me add. Science has been unable to answer those questions now.
They can never answer it.
Does not have. It's not continuing its
research. You know that science discovered Fibonacci sequence. You were talking about the petals of the flower, for example, See, the Fibonacci sequence is found everywhere in every biological entity.
A lot of things, not actually every, but a lot of things.
A lot of things. Are you telling me that it is a scientific thing? It is already there in the universe. Our galaxy is a Fibonacci sequence.
I think you're missing what science is. Science is just empiricism now. That's what it is.
No, we are saying the same thing.
There's nothing mystical about science.
There's nothing mystical about it.
Do you understand?
It's empiricism. Sequence.
There's nothing mystical about it.
Nothing mystical about it.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There are many other things.
It's a pattern.
Actually, most things are not even Fibonacci. Only some. And even those ones, they are not necessarily even perfect Fibonacci.
No, it cannot be perfect. See, listen. Science is not a perfect.
Look at the number of patterns people can discover. You go fear.
See, the pattern. We are talking about this algorithm.
Yeah.
These are just patterns that you can see. The wave propagation through the atmosphere is a pattern.
Algorithm is a step-by-step pattern. That's what it is.
Everything is a pattern. Your body language is a pattern. If you have fever, you start vibrating.
Because in as much there are rules guiding, there are physical rules guiding the physical world. There's a value to gravity, there's a value to everything. Even our body is a certain ratio. The thing that ratio is optimal for this prevalent condition.
Yeah.
Human being, animal being, everything, evolution is optimal for the current situation.
Okay, maybe you belong to the school of thought that believes in evolution.
Definitely.
Yes.
Not most. We've seen it in genetics.
Evolution has been thrown out. It does not.
You okay now?
Scientific basis.
Come and sit down here. Come and sit down here. Come and sit down.
What's happening?
No, I've muted her, so just continue.
Okay.
Up to the level of genetics, we've traced, because we've now seen all those dinosaur DNA, some would have still intact, and we've seen how they move, how they sequence. We even know how it happens, you get.
Yeah.
But,
Did you have you heard of this latest research on